What's going on, guys? This is Empty Box. This is Tokyo Xtreme Racer 3, one of my personal favorite PlayStation 2 games, one that I played a lot of. So let's get into the story that isn't really important. 2 years earlier, it should be Tokyo Xtreme Racer 0, a machine known as the fastest left in defeat. The name of that machine has not been forgotten. Along with him went as many as 13 ogre military officers, plunging Tokyo back into chaos. Osaka, Nagoya. Answering to the weakened Shutoku, new powers were being born in various areas. I feel like the cutscene should be read by Microsoft Sam, and I apologize for any mispronunciation that is bound to happen. Yeah, this guy doing the commentary, not Japanese. This guy doesn't speak Japanese, so yeah, it's gonna happen. So conventional wisdom in the Tokyo Xtreme Racer series is to buy the most powerful car as soon as you possibly can because it'll make your life a lot easier. But that just wouldn't be that fun. So we're going to go ahead and kind of split down the middle. We're going to buy a car that has a decent amount of power, but we're going to go with the Nissan Silvia S14. As you can see, there's a small assortment of cars currently available, and that list will grow as we defeat other racers, because to unlock those other cars, you have to beat someone who's driving those cars, which is kind of an interesting concept, because, well, it does force you to race people, and yeah. There's a wide variety of cars here, and yes, this license plate stuff does kind of actually matter, but no, it doesn't matter the way I just did it. There are people who actually won't race you depending on your license plates. Just a fun little detail. So let's get the show on the road, as we'll start in Tokyo. As you can see here, there are a wide variety of options. We can go into the tuning shop, for example, and as you can see, as you'd expect, there's a variety of things that you can tune. You can add engine power upgrades and mufflers and cooling systems, your transmission, your clutch, your suspension, all sorts of stuff like that. I think we'll start with the wheels because, well, we need some different wheels on those things just are not doing it for me. So we'll go ahead and go with these guys, back out, and then we will install the tires. And pretty cool, you can actually make your wheels larger or smaller, and if you pay attention in the bottom right hand corner, that will actually make your car heavier or lighter, which is pretty interesting. Usually you just smack the biggest rim on the car that you would like, and that'd be that, but in this game it actually kind of matters. And you got your tires, of course you have your weight reductions and your roll cages, your aerodynamic body work. You can actually, on some cars that come from the factory with a spoiler, you can actually remove the spoiler, which is pretty cool. And it actually makes the car lighter. You can tell that there was some attention to detail put into this game, and it's fantastic. You can even put in friggin' eyeliners and stuff like that. But this isn't one of those games like, Need for Speed, the Underground series, where you had to have like certain upgrades to make your car flashier. You don't have to do that. In fact, there's one guy in particular that I still remember who will only race you if your car looks stock. You can do anything else, just as long as it looks stock. And that's pretty cool. You can also make your parts out of different materials, which will affect your weight as well. Pretty cool. So let's go ahead and get started. Tokyo. The instant you set foot, reason instantly flies out the window, and the instinct to race is awakened. Once tasted, it is never forgotten and becomes a dangerous aphrodisiac. Drawn by the attraction of this place, the miracle racer, Dejected Angel, returns, slowly and surely. The door of legend starts to open. I honestly feel like the cutscenes should be read by Microsoft Sam. It would just make so much sense. It'd make the game so much better. But Tokyo Xtreme Racer is a series that originally started on the Dreamcast, and then it switched over to the PlayStation, and well, it was one of the first PlayStation 2 games that I ever saw, and it was mind-blowing. Tokyo Xtreme Racer 0, which was the third game in the franchise, but I think is Tokyo Xtreme Racer 2 on the PS2. And you will see that a lot, and that's part of what makes this game glorious, because at certain points, you need to learn where the AI absolutely fails. There is no other option. You have to learn how to play the game. And part of the game is knowing where the AI fails, and that is part of the fun. This is a very addictive game. It is a bucket load of fun. You know, honestly, if you like the Need for Speed Underground games, I would strongly suggest you give a look at this game if you're looking for something retro, nostalgic to play, because, in my opinion, this game blows them away. I mean, there's just so much fun to be had in this game. It is definitely a little bit of a grind fest, but that is part of the attraction. So as you can see, we just won our first race against Rolling Guy number 4. And we won 740 bucks. Not a lot, but hey, you gotta start somewhere. Basically, you go around the highways of Tokyo, Nagoya, or Osaka, beating on these rival driving gangs. And that's pretty much that. As you win races, you'll acquire more and more money, you get more and more parts to access, you'll get more cars that you can buy if you have the money, and eventually, once you defeat all the members of that club, you will go ahead and race their team leader, who is significantly faster to a why is this guy on your team and not on like another level type of degree, but yeah, in general, it works. And then once you clear out an area, you'll have to face basically a boss. You can kind of think of the gang leaders as a mini-boss, and then the bosses as really a test of how well you learned the area, because you have to start the race at a certain point realistically, because they are fast. I mean, they are fast as fast can be. It's pretty insane how the difficulty in this game jumps around. As you can see there at the top, we have the SP meter, which I think stands for spirit points or something like that. Yeah, this game is Japanese, if you couldn't tell. We'll just leave that as that. But as I pull further and further ahead of my rival, he's going to lose his points faster and faster and faster. If you run into stuff, if you run into the walls, if you run into the vans, there's only one, which is the game's biggest flaw if you ask me, you will lose points. And basically whoever runs out of points loses. Simple as that. It's kind of like Street Fighter, only racing. And this is a mechanic that I don't think any other series out there has, and it makes this game fantastic. It really does, because it does become a game of strategy, as well as you can see, occasionally they'll just go really fast and you'll be stuck going as fast as you can, and you'll just have to hip check them into a van, because that's how the game is played. There we go. I think he ran into the back of that van, and we win. As you can see there on the map, there is a map showing you which highways you can go on. Right now, the ones that we can drive on are currently white. The ones that will unlock in the future are orange. But you'll also see a bunch of arrows up there. Green arrows are the people that we've already defeated. Blue arrows are rival members that we haven't raced yet. Pretty much everyone belongs to a driving gang, which you will notice in the upper right hand corner when we race them. They'll show their racing name, or their BAD name. Oh, yeah, seriously, so Japanese. But that's basically what you're known as, and it can sometimes lead to very funny naming things, because it makes no sense. Physics, kind of sort of there, but kind of not really at all. Definitely. As you can see, there's another guy from Rolling Guy, which this team, they all drive ye old school Toyotas. That is their thing, that is what they do. There's pretty much a common theme throughout every team. And the AI actually does kind of drive differently. There'll be some guys that are known to be reckless, dangerous drivers, and they'll race dangerous and recklessly. Some guys will drive a little bit cleaner. And this section right here is where the AI is definitely at their worst, which will definitely be handy to know later on. Again, you gotta learn how to play the game. So we're actually going to flip around here. Except for the fact that I can't remember what button reverse is, but we found it. We are good to go. Some people would say, you know, just I want to race you. Get back here. You can pull into a pit area, which will basically allow you to cool your car off, which does become a factor a little bit later on when you start getting into turbo upgrades and things like that, which you will definitely need. But for right now, it's not an issue at all. There they go again, right in that divider. Racing Professor Speed. As you can see, he's already much more difficult than the rolling guys were. It tends to go all over the place in this game, and that's what keeps you on your toes. Can't remember which area this guy races in. He got stuck behind a van. There's a guy we just beat, I do believe. But the more people you beat in a row, the higher your win combo, which means you earn more money, more faster. As you can see, we're already up to a 1.1 multiplayer for money. So you want to keep beating people as much as you can. You want to keep your win streak on a roll, because then you'll get money faster, which means more parts faster, which means more or less you progress faster because you will need those parts to beat certain drivers. Early on here it is kind of easy, but eventually it gets to the point where it just goes crazy. I wouldn't say it's necessarily one of the most difficult games I've ever played, but in terms of racing games, I'd definitely say this series is up there. And if not, just because the way the difficulty has a tendency to spike randomly at times, it certainly earns an honorable mention in that regard. So we'll just catch up to this guy and we'll keep on, hopefully, rolling through the rolling guys. Always liked Rolling Guy. Like I just imagine some guy rolling down a hill, just being, oh, nope. And here we see our first guy from Team Fine Drive. If I remember correctly, their thing is they all drive Nissan Silvias. Haha, go into the wall, chump. You ain't got nothing on me, funky monkey. The handling is kind of interesting in this game. It actually kind of is sort of Gran Turismo-ish. Gran Turismo 4 specifically, where it's really easy to get the car sideways, but once you do get the car sideways, it just kind of understeers like crazy. Like that slide right there was caused just by letting go of the throttle. You know, there is actually lift-off oversteer in this game, shockingly enough. Yeah, the cars do slide around. It's not a drift game specifically, but you know, you do end up power sliding in a lot of the corners, or alternatively just bouncing off the walls because there's no damage and because it's fastest that way. But this game doesn't really even need damage though, because of the fact that when you do hit a van you go really slow, as well as the fact that, you know, when you are actually racing you lose your power, your SP, so it doesn't make too much of a difference because you don't want to hit stuff hard anyways, because if you do you could end up losing, you know, potentially up to a quarter of your life bar all in one go, which depending on who you're racing on, it could be absolutely massive. As you can see, there's a little prompt telling me which ways to go. Keep racing on the C1 inner. We'll generally just clear out a section at a time. And here's another fine drive guy. So hopefully we can dust this guy off quickly. Or maybe we can race this next guy without having to turn around too long and put too much effort in. 'Cause there's another rolling guy. I have to say, I really wish this series would make a comeback, because it is just addictive fun. It is a very nice balance of gameplay that, you know, keeps you playing. This is, in my opinion, sort of similar to, you know, I guess you'd say nowadays almost. So we find first gear. It's kind of similar to, you know, a Minecraft, only in a racing sense. No! Won't let you go into a gear while you're moving, I guess. And it's just kind of got that, you know, keep on playing constantly type of thing. Or Civilization. For the Civilization reference myself, but, you know, it's just always, oh, I'll just do one more day. I just want to get that one part for my car. I want to get that, you know, one engine upgrade, or that one, you know, spoiler or whatever. And the next thing you know, you're still playing, and it's, you know, a small hour in the morning. You know, the car models are acceptable for a PS2 game. The graphics are kind of drab, but they work. They're effective. You are racing around on highways at night, so there's nothing really too exciting to see anyway, so, you know, who particularly cares? This game just has a nice feel to it. And eventually, once you do start progressing a bit more, the difficulty will start to ramp up, which means that the intensity in this game goes from just smacking down people, this nice little cruise of a drive to win races, to jumping in front of cars that are doing 30 miles an hour more than you, 30 miles an hour more than what your car is actually capable of doing by itself. But you gotta block because you gotta block because that's how the game is played. And yeah. The series did have a go on the Xbox 360, where it became known as, at least here in North America, Import Tuner Challenge, which, funnily enough, I never played because I didn't realize it was part of this series, because I didn't realize the name had changed. which is very disappointing because, like I said, this is one of my most played games on the PS2. Certainly one of my most played racing games on the PS2. And yeah, I would have liked to have known there was another one because I kind of would have bought it for sure. And plus the music, it's so bad it's good. I mean, how does that not make you want to jump into your Nissan and drive over the speed limit in the middle of the night while you're surrounded on the Tokyo highways by all these yellow vans, and only yellow vans? Which I don't know how that happened, because Tokyo Xtreme Racer 0, the first game in the series on the PS2, and the predecessor to this one, I guess. It's kind of strange to explain, at least as far as I understand it, but that game had various traffic cars. This one only has vans, I guess. So that's that. Doesn't look like there's anyone else to race in close proximity, so we will go ahead and call it a night with our 8-win combo. As you can see, we got a name now. We are the Vivid Beginner. Yeah. Vivid Beginner. Yeah, that's definitely me. That's this guy right here.